I need your help to find out the truth about my fiancé. I want you to tell him that the accident caused me to lose some of my memory and that I am temporarily blind. I need to know his true intentions." The doctor looked at Lizzy with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "Are you sure about this, Lizzy? It could be risky for you emotionally." Lizzy nodded. "I need to know, doctor, please." Meet Lizzy, a radiant young woman from Lagos, Nigeria, known for her industrious spirit and unwavering determination. She was a beacon of success in her community. Despite coming from humble beginnings, Lizzy's relentless pursuit of her dreams had catapulted her into a successful career as an entrepreneur. She owned a thriving fashion business that catered to high-end clients across the country. Among Lizzy's many admirers was Emeka, a charming and seemingly supportive man who had swept her off her feet. Emeka had a way with words and an easy smile that made Lizzy believe he was the one meant for her. Welcome to Mercy's Folktales. A big thank you to all our returning viewers. Your continued support means the world to us, and we are thrilled to have you back for more exciting stories. If you are new here, we are so glad you found us. We create real-life and relatable stories that aims to entertain, educate, and inspire. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on any of our amazing stories. Now, let's dive into today's story. Lizzy fell deeply in love with Emeka and did everything in her power to support him. Emeka, claiming to be an aspiring artist, often found himself in financial crisis. Lizzy, with her generous heart, never hesitated to help him. She financed his projects, supported him emotionally through his struggles, and stood by him physically whenever he needed her. To Lizzy, Emeka was the love of her life. She envisioned a future where they would grow old together, supporting and cherishing each other. She dreamed of the day when Emeka's art would finally gain recognition and he would stand beside her as an equal partner. She believed in him so fervently that she never noticed the cracks in his facade. Unknown to Lizzy, Emeka had a secret life. His affection for her was a mask, a means to an end. Behind her back, he was involved with another woman named Joy. Joy was a beautiful but materialistic woman who thrived on the luxuries Emeka could provide. Luxuries he funded with Lizzy's hard-earned money. Emeka lavished Joy with expensive gifts, fine dining experiences, and exotic vacations, all while pretending to be a struggling artist in front of Lizzy. The truth began to unravel one fateful evening when Lizzy, feeling particularly lonely, decided to surprise Emeka with dinner at his apartment. She had cooked his favorite meal and arrived unannounced, hoping to bring a smile to his face. As she approached his door, she overheard voices, talking and laughing. Her heart sank, but she mustered the courage to knock on the door. Lizzy's heart pounded in her chest as she stood at Emeka's door. When the door opened to reveal Emeka with Joy, Lizzy's world seemed to collapse. Emeka's face was a mix of shock and guilt, but Lizzy didn't wait for explanations. Her vision blurred with tears. She turned on her heel and fled down the hallway. The evening's tranquility shattered as she bolted from the apartment building, her mind a whirlwind of pain and confusion. She fumbled with her car keys, hands trembling, before finally managing to unlock the door and get inside. Lizzy's thoughts were a chaotic mess of memories and shattered dreams, making it impossible for her to focus on the road ahead. Driving recklessly through the streets of Lagos, Lizzy's vision was clouded with tears and frustration. She barely noticed the stoplight turn red or the car that entered the intersection from her right. The stretch of tires and the deafening sound of metal colliding jolted her from her thoughts. Lizzy's car was thrown sideways by the impact. The world went black, and the last thing she remembered was the distant sound of siren approaching. When Lizzy awoke, she found herself in a hospital room, the sterile smell and beeping monitors bringing her back to reality. Her body ached, and she felt a bandage wrapped around her head. As she tried to sit up, a nurse hurried over to gently guide her back down. "You have been in an accident, miss. You are lucky to be alive," the nurse said softly, her eyes filled with concern. Lizzy's thoughts were still hazy, but the memory of Emeka and joy flooded back, bringing fresh tears to her eyes. She realized that the physical pain she felt was nothing compared to the emotional wounds that had been inflicted. She closed her eyes, trying to gather her strength. Lizzy lay in her hospital bed, her body bruised and bandaged, but her mind sharper than ever. She knew she needed answers about Emeka's true intentions. The betrayal still fresh in her mind, she hatched a plan. She called in her doctor, Dr. Adeyemi, a kind and perceptive man who had treated her with utmost care since the accident. "Dr. Adeyemi," Lizzy began, "I need your help to find out the truth about my fiancé. I want you to tell him that the accident caused me to lose some of my memory and that I am temporarily blind. I need to know his true intentions." The doctor looked at Lizzy with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "Are you sure about this, Lizzy? It could be risky for you emotionally." Lizzy nodded. "I need to know, doctor, please." Dr. Adeyemi agreed, and they put the plan into motion. When Emeka arrived at the hospital later that day, he was greeted by the doctor at the door of Lizzy's room. "Mr. Emeka," Dr. Adeyemi began, his tone grave. "Lizzy has suffered some serious injuries. The accident caused her to lose part of her memory, and she is currently blind. She will need your support now more than ever." Emeka's eyes widened, and for a moment, a flicker of something, fear and excitement perhaps, crossed his face. But he quickly composed himself and put on a concerned expression. "Oh no, that's terrible. Can I see her?" "Of course," Dr. Adeyemi replied, leading him into the room where Lizzy lay. "Baby, is Emeka?" Lizzy turned her head slightly in his direction, her voice soft and uncertain. "Emeka, is that you?" "Yes, my love, it's me," Emeka replied, taking her hand. "I'm here for you." Lizzy's heart ached at his false endearment, but she maintained her act. "The doctor says I can't remember anything and I can't see. What happened?" Emeka squeezed her hand. "You had an accident, Lizzy, but don't worry. I am here right now. I will take care of you." Emeka visited Lizzy regularly, playing the role of the concerned fiancé. He brought flowers, spoke to her soothingly, and promised to help her through her supposed blindness and memory loss. After being discharged from the hospital, Lizzy returned home with Emeka. She wore dark sunglasses and used a walking stick, playing the part of a helpless, memory-impaired woman. Emeka, thinking Lizzy was completely dependent on him, felt confident that his deceit had gone unnoticed. "With your condition, Lizzy, you need someone to help you around the house," Emeka said one morning. "I've arranged for a helper. She will be here soon." Lizzy nodded weakly, hiding her inner turmoil. "Thank you, Emeka. I really appreciate." Later that day, the doorbell rang, and Emeka rushed to open it. Lizzy listened intently as a familiar female voice greeted him. Her heart skipped a beat when she realized who it was. "Joy, come in," Emeka said warmly. "Lizzy, this is Joy. She'll be helping you from now on." Lizzy turned her head towards Joy, her sunglasses concealing the fire in her eyes. Nice to meet you, Joy, she says softly, extending her hand. Joy took Lizzy's hand with a slight smirk, clearly underestimating her. Nice to meet you too, Lizzy. I promise I'll take good care of you. Over the next few days, Lizzy observed Joy and Emeka closely, pretending to be oblivious of their interactions. She listened to their whispered conversations, their stolen glances and touches. Emeka was confident that Lizzy's supposed blindness and memory loss had made her unaware of their true relationship. One evening, as Joy and Emeka were whispering in the kitchen, Lizzy quietly positioned herself near the doorway, her phone recording their conversation. I think she's completely fooled, Joy said, a triumphant note in her voice. She doesn't suspect a thing. Emeka chuckled softly. Good. As soon as she's settled, we will take all her money. She's so helpless now. She won't even know what's happening. Lizzy felt a surge of anger, but remained calm. Determined to protect herself and gather more evidence against Emeka, Lizzy continued her charade. One afternoon, as she moved quietly through her home, she overheard Emeka and Joy talking in the living room. She paused, listening intently from the hallway. We need to find those house documents, Emeka whispered urgently. Once we have them, we can sell the properties and disappear with the money. Joy replied, I've searched everywhere, but I can't find them. She must have hidden them somewhere. Lizzy's heart raced, but she remained composed. She discreetly activated the recording app on her phone, capturing their conversation. She knew this was the moment to act swiftly. She needed to safeguard her important documents before Emeka and Joy found them. Lizzy moved quietly to her bedroom. She pulled out a small box from her closet, which contained the original documents to her house and other properties. Carefully, she removed the originals and replaced them with fake ones that looked authentic but had no real value. With the genuine documents safely hidden in a more secure location, Lizzy returned to the living room, pretending to be unaware of Emeka and Joy's schemes. She acted as though everything was normal, but inside she was preparing for the final confrontation. The following day, Emeka and Joy intensified their search for the house documents. Lizzy observed them discreetly, knowing they would soon find the fake ones. As expected, their face lit up with triumph when they discovered the decoy documents. Yes, we found them, Joy exclaimed, holding up the fake papers. This is it. We can sell the house and get out of here. Emeka grinned. Perfect. Amazing. I love you, Joy. They hugged. The next day, Lizzy asked Emeka to join her on the couch in the living room, trying to maintain her calm facade. Emeka, could you come sit with me for a moment? Emeka, sitting on the other side of the room, quickly replied, I'm sorry, Lizzy. I'm replying to a client on my laptop. I'll be with you soon. Lizzy, hidden behind her dark sunglasses, watched through her peripheral vision as Emeka and Joy were making out. The sight of their betrayal sent tears streaming down her cheeks, but she kept her composure, determined not to let them see her pain. Joy, she called out, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Could you come help me with something? Emeka intervened, his tone dismissive. Joy is busy. I sent her on an errand. I will help you later. Lizzy nodded, pretending to accept his excuse. Her mind raced with hot tears streaming down her face. She stood with the help of her walking stick and made her way to the room and cried her heart out. One evening, as the sun set and the living room was bathed in a warm golden glow, Lizzy sat quietly in her chair, her dark sunglasses concealing her vigilant eyes. Emeka and Joy were on the other side of the room, believing Lizzy was oblivious of their scheming. I've been thinking about how to divide the money once we sell the mansion, Emeka said, a greedy gleam in his eyes. Since it was through me that we got to Lizzy, I should get the lion's share. Joy's eyes narrowed, her displeasure evident. And what makes you think you deserve more? I've done just as much as you in this scheme. Emeka smirked, leaning back in her chair. Because I'm the one who made it all possible. Without me, you wouldn't even have met her in the first place. These arguments did not sit well with Joy. Anger simmered beneath her surface, and she decided then and there that she wouldn't let Emeka take more than his fair share. Later that night, as the house grew quiet and Emeka fell asleep, Joy crept out of their bedroom, her steps silent on the wooden floor. She made her way to the study where she knew Emeka had hidden the fake documents. She carefully opened the drawer and retrieved them, a slight smile spreading across her face. With the document in her hand, she slipped out of the room and found a new hiding place for them, ensuring that Emeka would have no idea where they were. The next morning, Emeka woke up with a plan to finalize the sale of the house. He went to the study to retrieve the document, only to find them missing. Panic set in as he frantically searched through the drawers and shelves. "Joy!" he yelled, storming back into the bedroom. "Where are the documents? They are gone." Joy feigned innocence, her expression one of confusion. "What do you mean they are gone? Did you misplace them?" "I put them in the drawer last night," Emeka snapped, his frustration mounting. "And now they are not there. You must have taken them." Joy crossed her arms, a small satisfied smile playing on her lips. "Maybe you are losing your touch, Emeka. Or maybe you don't deserve that king's share after all." Emeka's face twisted with rage. "What are you saying, Joy? Are you trying to cut me out?" "Maybe I am," Joy replied coolly. "You thought you could take more than your share, but I'm not letting that happen. I have the documents now, and you have no idea where they are." Lizzy, who had been listening from her room, felt a surge of triumph. She had already gathered enough evidence, and now Joy's greed was causing their partnership to fracture. This was the perfect moment to strike. She called her lawyer and trusted friends, explaining the latest developments. They arrived quickly, ready to witness a final confrontation. As Emeka frantically searched the living room for the missing documents, his frustration boiled over. He stormed back into the room where Joy was sitting. "Where are the documents, Joy?" Emeka demanded, his voice trembling with rage. Joy glanced at him, barely masking her irritation. "I told you I have them. You think you deserve more than me? Think again." The argument quickly escalated, their voices rising in anger. Emeka's face turned red and his hand closed into fist. "Give me the documents now." Joy stood up, facing him with a steely gaze. "Or what, Emeka? What are you going to do about it?" Meanwhile, Lizzy was hidden nearby, recording everything on her phone. She had positioned herself just out of sight, ensuring she captured every word and action. In a fit of anger, Emeka grabbed Joy by the arm, shaking her. "I said give them to me!" Emeka felt a surge of anger. He shoved Joy away with all his strength. The force of his push sent her staggering backward. She lost her balance and fell, hitting her head hard against the edge of a nearby coffee table. The impact was severe and Joy collapsed to the floor unconscious. Emeka stared in shock, his heart racing, his mind spinning with panic. He had not intended for things to escalate this far. Joy lying on the floor, blood pooling beneath her head, and Emeka stood over her, his face pale and eyes wide with fear. Emeka knew he had to act quickly. Panic set in as he realized the gravity of the situation. He ran to the bedroom, grabbed his bag and rushed towards the door. Just as he was about to make his escape, Lizzy's lawyer, Mr. Okoro, and some of Lizzy's relatives arrived at the nick of time, blocking his path. "Where do you think you are going?" Mr. Okoro demanded, his voice stern. Emeka's eyes darted around, searching for an escape route, but there was none. The police arrived moments later, responding to Lizzy's emergency call. The police quickly assessed the situation, taking in the sight of Joy unconscious on the floor and Emeka trying to flee. Emeka raised his hand defensively. "I didn't hurt her. She fell on her own. It was an accident." As the commotion settled, Lizzy felt a surge of resolve. She stepped out, removing her sunglasses and walking without any aid. Emeka looked up in shock. "Lizzy," he stammered, his eyes wide with disbelief. You're not blind?" "No, Emeka, I was never blind. I saw everything you did with Joy in my house. Your betrayal, your deceit, your greed, all of it." Emeka's face drained of color as the reality of his situation sank in. "Lizzy, I can explain." "There is nothing to explain," Lizzy interrupted, her voice filled with a mix of anger and sadness. "After everything I did for you, this is how you repay me? By conspiring to steal from me, by cheating on me, by planning to sell my house." Emeka struggled to find words, but Lizzy continued, her voice growing stronger with each word. "Your karma has come, Emeka. Now it's time for you to pay for all your crimes. You will face the consequences of your actions." Mr. Okoro, Lizzy's lawyer, stepped forward, nodding in agreement. "The police have all the evidence they need. Thanks to Lizzy's recordings, you won't get away with this." As the police took Emeka into custody and Joy taken to the mortuary, Lizzy felt a weight lift off her shoulder. She had faced her betrayals head-on and exposed their deceit. The truth was out and justice would be served. Surrounded by her supportive friends and family, Lizzy knew she could finally begin to heal and rebuild her life. She has shown remarkable strength and resilience, proving that she was not only a survivor but a fighter. With her loved ones by her side, she was ready to move forward, leaving the pain of betrayal behind and embracing a future filled with hope and determination. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do like and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our amazing stories. Bye.